The psychology behind gambling, priceless lessons for smart investing. Today, I'm taking you into the dazzling world of high-stakes casinos, where the winners are few and the losers are many. Have you ever wondered why some people manage to win consistently while most get trapped in an endless cycle of losses? What secret do they hold? First and foremost, let's make it clear. My goal is not to promote gambling. Instead, we're here to examine psychological strategies that can help you stay sharp in all areas of decision-making, whether it's investing, business, or life. Picture this. You walk into an extravagant casino greeted by bright, flashing lights, the constant jingling of slot machines, and the thrilling cheers from roulette and poker tables. The atmosphere feels like a world of its own, luring people into the fantasy of becoming wealthy overnight. But the reality is far less glamorous. According to the Las Vegas Tourism Bureau, over 80% of players leave the casino empty-handed. Even more startling, a study on gambling addiction revealed that 85% of problem gamblers admitted to chasing losses, continuing to gamble in hopes of winning back their lost money, only to fall even deeper into debt. So why is it that a small number of players manage to win in the long run while the majority fail? The secret isn't luck. The answer lies deeply rooted in human psychology and decision-making patterns. In this discussion, we'll break down the psychological traps that lead most gamblers to financial ruin and reveal how professional players skillfully avoid them. More importantly, you'll discover how to apply these strategies to real-life situations, whether in business, finance, or daily decisions, bring you to control your emotions and make smarter choices. Don't forget to follow this channel for more insights on money and strategies to help you achieve financial freedom faster. 1. The optimism bias, when you believe you're the exception. Have you ever heard of beginner's luck? Many first-time gamblers win a few rounds and start thinking they have a natural talent for the game. But beware, this is the first trap, the optimism bias. According to psychologist Neil Weinstein, people tend to overestimate their chances of success. In one study, 68% of lawyers believed they would win their civil cases, but in reality, the win rate was only 50%. This overconfidence becomes even more dangerous in casinos, where the bright lights and excited cheers make you think, if others can win, I can too. But what's the reality? Casinos don't exist to give you money. Every game is designed so that over time, you lose. Those early wins aren't a sign of talent. They're a strategy to keep you playing longer until you give it all back. How to avoid this trap? Remember that no one is an exception. If you're winning, enjoy it, but don't let it cloud your judgment. Most importantly, know when to walk away. 2. The illusion of recouping losses. When you fall into a money pit, imagine you just lost $500. What would you do? Most people think, I just need to win one more round to get my money back. But this is the second trap, the one that can make you lose everything without even realizing it. In economics, this is known as the sunk cost fallacy. When we invest in something, whether it's money, time, or effort, we tend to keep chasing it, even when it's clearly a bad decision. Nobel Prize-winning economist Richard Thaler conducted an interesting experiment. He gave participants 2 lottery tickets, one for free and one they had to buy. When asked to discard one, most people kept the one they paid for, even if it had worse odds. Why? Because they had invested in it and didn't want to let go. The same thing happens in gambling. The more you lose, the more you want to keep playing. But in reality, the money you've lost is gone. It's like spilled water. It shouldn't influence your next decision. How to avoid this trap? Before you start gambling or making any financial decision, set a clear limit. If you hit that loss limit, walk away. Never let your emotions take control of your decisions. 3. The probability illusion. When you see patterns that don't exist, have you ever noticed those big screens displaying past results in casinos? They're not there by accident. Humans love finding patterns, even when none exist. This is known as the gambler's fallacy, the belief that past events influence future outcomes. For example, if a roulette wheel lands on red 5 times in a row, you might think, the next one has to be black. But the reality? Each spin is independent. Previous results have no impact on the next spin. Here's another example outside of gambling. If you flip a coin 5 times and it lands on heads each time, does that mean tails is more likely on the next flip? No, the probability remains 50-50, just like before. Casinos understand this and use it to their advantage. They want you to believe you can predict the future, but in reality, there's no pattern. Trap number 4, the illusion of control, a psychological pitfall that leads us to misjudge our abilities. In a world full of uncertainties, humans crave the feeling of control. This sense of agency helps us feel more confident and grounded in life. However, this very need often leads to faulty judgments. Ellen Langer, a renowned psychologist, conducted a fascinating experiment to explore this phenomenon. In the experiment, she asked volunteers to play cards against an opponent who appeared visibly anxious and nervous. The results were surprising. Simply seeing their opponent look unsettled made participants feel they had an advantage. They were even willing to place larger bets, convinced they had a higher chance of winning, even though the game's outcome was entirely random. This demonstrates that with just a small illusion of control, we are easily tricked into believing we are in charge when, in reality, we are not. The danger of this illusion isn't confined to games of chance. It extends to some of life's most critical decisions. From careers to investments, the illusion of control shows up everywhere. For example, a person might believe that hard work alone is enough to change everything, failing to realize that external factors, such as market conditions, the economy, or even luck, play a significant role. This illusion can drive individuals to overcommit resources or take risks on projects they think they can manage, only to face failure because they misjudged the circumstances. Accompanying the illusion of control is another psychological trap: selective memory. This phenomenon occurs when people only remember moments of success while conveniently forgetting their failures. Our brains function like a biased storyteller, always striving to color our memories with bright hues. For example, a gambler might vividly recall the game that earned them a big win, but completely forget that they had lost double or even triple the amount to achieve that win. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman discussed this in his book, Thinking, Fast and Slow. He explained that the brain often relies on a quick and automatic thinking system to process memories, prioritizing positive events while filtering out negative emotions. This mechanism helps us maintain a positive outlook, but simultaneously leads us to misjudge reality. Consider applying this concept to everyday life. Have you ever looked back on a vacation and remembered the stunning sunsets or a delicious dinner while forgetting minor inconveniences like a delayed flight or bad weather? This isn't inherently wrong, but applying the same biased thinking to significant decisions, such as financial investments, starting a business, or planning for the future, can lead to major mistakes. The only way to escape this psychological trap is to adopt a more realistic perspective. Ask yourself, am I relying on data or just feelings? Am I letting emotions override logic? Most importantly, remember that we can't always control outcomes. Instead of trying to control everything, focus on managing what is within your power: how you react to situations, how you mitigate risks, and how you learn from mistakes. Once again, I must emphasize that the purpose of this article is not to encourage gambling, but to analyze the psychological principles that help us make wiser decisions in life. Gambling can lead to severe financial and psychological consequences, so always keep a cool head and steer clear of games of chance. However, have you ever wondered why some professional gamblers manage to make long-term profits in casinos while most players face losses? Professional players understand that luck is only a small part of the game. The more important elements are probability and strategy. They don't let short-term winning or losing streaks shake their composure. Even when faced with a series of losses, they remain committed to their strategies because they know that, in the long run, the numbers will work in their favor. Take, for example, the MIT Blackjack team, a group of students from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology who applied mathematical models to calculate probabilities in the game of blackjack. Thanks to their scientific approach and persistence in sticking to their strategy, they made millions of dollars from casinos during the 1990s. Their success didn't come from luck, but from patience, sharp thinking, and the ability to maintain emotional control in any situation. This ability to think rationally is not only critical in the casino, but also valuable in other fields, such as investing and business. Professional traders on Wall Street employ similar principles. They don't let short term market fluctuations sway their decisions, but instead focus on long term analysis. It's this calmness and discipline that enable them to achieve sustainable profits. Strict financial management, the secret to never losing. One of the biggest mistakes amateur gamblers make is failing to have a clear financial management strategy. They often place bets based on emotions, leading to a loss of control and eventually losing everything. In contrast, professional players always set specific loss limits and strictly adhere to their rules. For example, a professional gambler might set a maximum daily loss limit of 1% of their total bankroll. If they hit that limit, they immediately stop playing and don't continue. This acts as a safety brake, preventing them from getting swept up in emotions and making reckless bets. A famous gambling master, Johnny Chan, once shared that he never carries credit cards into a casino. Instead, he only brings a carefully calculated amount of cash. It's this strict financial control that allowed him to sustain success in the harsh world of gambling. This principle of financial management isn't just applicable to casinos, it's also incredibly useful in everyday life. Setting a budget for shopping helps avoid overspending, and in investing, it limits risks and protects capital. Warren Buffett famously said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This is a timeless lesson in financial discipline that anyone can apply. One thing that often goes unnoticed is that professional players are not only skilled in mathematics, but also have a deep understanding of human psychology. They know how to read their opponents, exploit psychological weaknesses, and steer clear of the traps created by the human brain itself. For instance, many people believe they can control the outcome of a game, such as throwing dice harder to get the desired number, or choosing lucky numbers when buying lottery tickets. In reality, this is merely an illusion of control, a psychological effect that makes people overestimate their ability to influence random events. Additionally, humans tend to remember their victories more vividly than their losses, creating a distorted perception of their abilities. Someone might proudly boast about a big win from the previous week, but conveniently forget that they lost twice as much money before that. This phenomenon, known as selective memory, is a psychological mechanism that automatically filters out negative memories and retains only positive experiences. So, what lesson can we learn from professional players? It is discipline, emotional control, and a deep understanding of how our brains work. You may not play cards, but these principles can still help you make better decisions in life and finances. Learn to think like a professional player to take control of your own destiny. In his book, Emotional Intelligence, psychologist Daniel Goleman emphasized that EQ, emotional quotient, is often more important than IQ, intelligence quotient, in determining a person's success. Professional gamblers are a prime example of this. While they excel at math and probability, their true edge lies in their remarkable ability to control their emotions. Take one of the most famous psychological experiments of all time, the marshmallow test. Researchers gave each child a marshmallow and told them if they could resist eating it for 15 minutes, they would receive a second one as a reward. The results were astonishing. The children who demonstrated self-control not only performed better in school, but also achieved greater success later in life. Similarly, in gambling, those who can master their emotions are the ones who make the smartest decisions. When facing a losing streak, the average player often panics, gets frustrated, and starts making reckless bets in an attempt to recover losses, only to dig themselves into a deeper hole. Professional players, however, understand a fundamental principle. Stay calm, analyze rationally, and stick to their strategy no matter what. But emotional control isn't just crucial in the casino, it's a game changer in real life as well. Whether dealing with work stress, facing setbacks, or navigating conflicts in relationships, those who can keep a cool head will always make wiser decisions. This proves that success isn't just about intelligence, it's about mastering self-discipline and emotional resilience. Psychological traps don't just exist in casinos. They also creep into financial markets, causing investors to make mistakes without even realizing it. Overconfidence can make you believe you're always right, while the illusion of potential profit can lead to hesitation, making you hold on to false hope instead of cutting your losses in time. Imagine this. You buy a stock, and its price starts to drop. Instead of admitting the mistake, you tell yourself, I've already invested too much in this. If I just hold on a little longer, maybe the price will recover. This is a classic example of loss aversion, trapping you in a cycle of increasing losses. Meanwhile, professional investors never let emotions control their decisions. They analyze situations objectively, and if the outlook is bad, they cut their losses immediately and look for better opportunities instead of desperately trying to win back lost money. Legendary investor Peter Lynch once said, "Knowing why you bought a stock is more important than knowing what stock you bought." This emphasizes a crucial truth. Emotions don't make money, only strategy and discipline do. Another key factor in surviving the market is capital management. Warren Buffett, known for his sharp yet simple investment principles, famously stated rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. In other words, protecting your capital is more important than chasing profits, and knowing when to stop is the key to long-term success. Additionally, the market is constantly evolving, making continuous learning and adaptability essential. Charlie Munger, Buffett's right-hand man, once remarked, "Every successful person I've ever met has one thing in common. They learn something new every day." The best investors never rely on luck or emotions. They continuously expand their knowledge, monitor trends, and adjust their strategies to stay ahead of the game. Finally, remember that no investment is ever guaranteed to win. Just like in a casino, the house always has the edge, and in the stock market, unexpected risks are always present. This is why financial experts strongly advise diversifying your portfolio, never putting all your money in one place, and always having an exit strategy for every situation. Whether in a casino or in life, winning isn't about luck, it's about self-control. Successful people understand that a strong mindset is more important than any strategy. The truth is, changing your mindset can completely change your life. When you learn to control your emotions and make decisions based on logic, you'll avoid costly mistakes and open up more opportunities for yourself. After today's discussion, I hope you'll always stay clear-headed when facing challenges and temptations in life. When difficulties arise, take a step back, assess the situation objectively, and act wisely. There's a famous saying in the gambling world, casinos don't have clocks or windows because they don't want you to notice time passing. Similarly, in life, if you're not mindful, you can easily get caught up in temporary distractions and lose sight of your real goals. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this content valuable, share it with your friends and loved ones. Don't forget to follow for more insightful knowledge on finance and life. Wishing you clarity and success.